What up, your boy Superman, and today I'm talking about why Hafus are important to Japan's future. The reason I'm making this video is because I am a father. My child is considered a Hafu, even though she's mixed with beyond that. So I am concerned of her future, and typically Japan does treat Hafu children differently. In some locations of Japan, they treat them like really well. In other locations, they treat them like dirt. You know, I've heard stories of Hafu people commit suicide because they're treated so badly, and I've heard stories where Hafu children were treated so well, and they're like kings. So you get kind of both sides, but most of the time I usually hear more negative than positive, unfortunately. So I want to make this video to kind of clarify and educate, you know, people who are either coming to Japan and considering dating, maybe marrying someone from Japan, you know, and having children, because it will become your problem or an issue for you. It's not really a problem, it's just an issue. Because, you know, it's all about change and adjusting. So let's move on to let's just get into it and move on, okay? I put in bullet points so I wouldn't just be ranting. Okay. First of all, Hafu kids can typically speak English and Japanese. For example, about 3 years back, a company called Uniqlo, they went global, basically, and they wanted, you know, everyone in the company to learn English. They gave all the top executives 3 years to learn English. That's not really adequate, but that's what happened. They're like, look, you got 3 years to learn English, or we're gonna fire you and hire someone else that does speak Japanese and English. Well, Hafus, like I said, already speak both, and they already know like the subtle nuances between the culture and the actual language. So of course they'll be better suited and better qualified for such a position compared to just a plain Japanese person or another person from a different country that came into Japan and learned Japanese. Hafus already know both. So, and I feel like that's a huge benefit to Japan from a business standpoint and just a cultural standpoint, because Japan itself is trying to become more international. Okay, next one. This is arguably, but in my opinion, usually Hafus are more attractive, simply. That's just my opinion. I see a lot of Hafus here, and they're usually better looking than just your typical average pureblood, either Japanese or whatever country members. And this is not just applying for Japan and some country. Like when I see like a white girl and a black guy have a baby, their babies are beautiful, or vice versa. A white guy and a black girl have a baby, their babies are beautiful, like more beautiful. Just my opinion. I could be biased, but I'm just throwing it out there. You can argue with me in the comments below, whatever, or just share your opinion. I'm always curious and open to hear other people's opinions. But yeah, I find them more attractive. Like here in Japan, especially in the last 5 years, they've been using Hafu children and adults for like more than half of their advertisements. Period. No joke. Okay. Japan has a declining population, okay? Like literally since 2010, they've been losing 1 million people every single year. It's predicted by 2110, Japan's population will be down to 42 million people. That's not many people. Like seriously. So what they're gonna have to do for that, because you know they gotta keep up with the industry and keep up with, you know, economics. They're gonna have to increase foreigners, right? So automatically you're gonna have tons more foreigners coming in, and they're gonna be having tons more Hafu children anyway. So it's something that you cannot avoid in Japan. Japan can say whatever they want now, the old school Japan, people controlling it, but in the future, by like, I think it was like 2050 50 Hafus will be like, they might become the majority of kids here. The majority. So I'm saying you're sitting there treating Hafus like crap now, but they might rule 30 years down the line. They'll be in power. So I think you should treat them a little better. Just saying. Plus, half the people in power now will probably not exist. Because a lot of people controlling like the government here, they're like easily in their 60s, 70s. You know, I understand people in Japan want to try to keep it Japanese and all that stuff, but it's really just not happening unless they're going to all go out and having a peace, love, and war rally and everyone just start having sex. Excuse my language, but that's kind of sort of what they need to do. But what has been happening is you're having this huge increase of 30-year-old virgins. Probably going to move in on the 40-year-old virgins. People are not having sex and they're not getting married. Why? Because apparently they're finding no benefit in doing so. So I don't know. Anyways, let's move to the next bullet point. Dual citizenship. Currently, dual citizenship in Japan for like Hafu children is, they have it until they're about 20 years old. 20 years old, they're considered adults, okay? That's called the coming of age day. So once they're an adult, they're supposed to pick, kinda. I know a few people, actually I know quite a few people who didn't pick. They're just like, whatever. And the government didn't really force them to, and they still have dual citizenship with America. So I'm pretty sure in the future, being a Hafu, dual citizenship will be okay. It's just gonna have to be that way because there's gonna be more Hafu kids coming to Japan. Japan is becoming less Japanese every single year, even though they don't think so, but that's actually the truth. So I think that's a benefit, you know, dual citizenship, because like Japan will be more internationalized, right? You know, because you have this governor who is also a citizen of America, who speaks perfect English, who speaks perfect Japanese, he understands both cultures, and I just think he'd be able to do better work, you know, compared to someone who only knows one culture, one language, and had learned the other one or naturalized into it and still doesn't know all the nuances and the small cultural bits that could really offend one culture to really offend a culture, you know? Like, you might be super good at English, but, you know, you might not get an English joke. Something small like that could really, really not damage relationship, but the relationship might not kick off. It might just be pure business all the time, or feel like that. You know, the goal is to be able to feel comfortable with someone, you know? And having someone who's like a Hafu, who understands the culture, I think he's more likely to make, like, say, an American or a Canadian, say he's half Canadian, half Japanese, he can make that Canadian official feel more comfortable than just a Japanese guy that doesn't quite understand his jokes. Just an idea. Okay, I already actually said it. I'm just gonna, you know, reiterate it. It's a big step towards internationalism for Japan, and I feel like Japan should take a bigger step towards internationalism, because if you're not stepping towards it, you're gonna fall behind. There's plenty of countries that are very to themselves. For example, North Korea, look at them. They're pretty much closed off to the whole world, you know? And Japan doesn't want to be like that, of course. So internationalism is important. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to like mix, you know, with other people, but at least, you know, try to be a part of the international community, because the international community is becoming way more connected. So we need each other. Everyone on Earth needs each other. We need to work together more, especially with climate change and weather and all this other stuff going on. So we need to help each other fix the climate, hopefully stop wars, make better vaccinations for babies, better medicine. So I think it's really good for Japan to be a part of all that. And you know, having Hafus help represent them in the world would be a good thing. Definitely. This right here, at the same time, could be arguably, you can argue this topic, but for me, like, I think if you have the dad and mom at home and they have, you know, Hafu children, the kids are more than likely going to be higher educated. I say this because, again, they already speak multiple languages, where the typical Japanese kid speaks only Japanese. The typical American kid speaks only English. So the Hafu kid, he speaks both. Culturally, he understands both. So it puts him at an advantage. I mean, my daughter already speaks at like a high school level of English. I mean, yeah, she doesn't know grammar or anything like that, but she can definitely outspeak them when it comes to English. No problem. She watches English TV constantly, and she watches Japanese TV too. And she, you know, like, she's getting to that point where she's actually translating for me. I try to, you know, discourage it because I'm trying to stay motivated to learn Japanese, but she's already at a point where she's translating for me, and she's only 6. So anyways, these are the reasons I think Hafus are going to be really important for Japan's future. So thanks for watching the video. If you have any other comments, let me know, and peace until next video.